Good evening, and welcome to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm Nikodemus, and I will be your host as we take a look at the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. And remember, none of this is financial advice. And it's 10 p.m. on Wednesday, March 29th, 2023. The Ethereum protocol support team shared an update yesterday. They confirmed that the hard fork for Shanghai and Capella upgrades, named Shapella, will happen on April 12th, so about a couple of weeks from today. Shapella is the new name for the Shanghai Upgrade. It brings together changes to the execution layer, consensus layer, and the engine API. The Ethereum team made the date announcement after the successful Gurley testnet transition. Bug bounty rewards have also doubled until April 5th. Which is a nice incentive for those looking for vulnerabilities in Shapella. The blog post explained that the upgrade allows validators to withdraw their stake from the beacon chain to the execution layer. It also brings new features to both the execution and consensus layer. The Shapella upgrade is supported by all main Ethereum clients, including Lighthouse, Lodestar, Nimbus, Prism, and Teku. ETH Staker and Ethereum cat herders will be hosting a viewing party for Shapella just before it goes live, letting people follow it in real time. Despite fears of a large amount of unstaked Ethereum being sold to markets after the hard fork, this is unlikely because of the phased release, which was implemented to enhance network security. Validators must go through a two-stage process to withdraw their ETH. This process includes an exit queue and a withdrawal period. The length of the withdrawal period is dynamic and depends on how much Ethereum is being withdrawn at the time. This churn limit is a network security mechanism. It defines the exit queue and maintains stability. Currently, there are about 17.9 million Ethereum staked on the beacon chain. That's valued at approximately $32 billion at current prices. That $32 billion represents about 15% of the total circulating supply. Over the past 24 hours, Ethereum prices have increased by approximately 3.8%. At the time of writing, Ethereum was trading at $1,780 each. The asset has recuperated from the CFTC Binance lawsuit. News of that suit saw a significant drop yesterday and is now making progress towards breaking $1,800 again. Ethereum is down presently 63.5% from its all-time high of $4,878 back in November of 2021. The central bank digital currency pilot by the Bank of Russia has been delayed, and there is no set date for it to begin. And it's not because of technical reasons. The participating banks are prepared to start testing. So what's going on is, the CBDC pilot was planned to start on April 1st. That's not going to happen because legislation only passed through the first reading in the State Duma. The State Duma is the Federal Assembly's lower house. The legislation may be enacted by early May, according to state-owned media as of March 28th. 13 private banks will participate in the pilot instead of 15. Some employees of these banks will be testing the CBDC retail payments. Bank executives are excited about the project. Vitaly Kopysov is the director of innovations at Sinara Bank, and he said that the use of smart contracts would reduce the operational load of banks and make deals transparent. He feels that this will lower the chances of misuse of government and bank funds and simplify control over existing contracts. The pilot will involve real operations and customers. That said, it will be limited in scale. The general public can't just join the first stage. Banks will enter the pilot with chosen customers. The Bank of Russia plans to decide how to scale the digital ruble after the first stage. The consumer CBDC pilot was originally scheduled for next year. However, the Russian central bank moved it to April of this year due to Western economic sanctions. They're seeking an alternative to the SWIFT payments system. BXC is a crypto trading platform, or at least they were, because now they're closed. The U.S. Securities Exchange Commission charged the founder and the company with running an unregistered exchange and brokerage. According to a statement released on Wednesday, BXC Digital Limited raised $8 million illegally by offering an unregistered security using its BXY token. The SEC also said that the founder took around $900,000 for personal use, including gambling. The SEC claimed that Wendy Inc. took over BXY's platform in 2019 after its founder misused funds. Now, according to the SEC, managers Nicholas Murphy and Randolph Bay Abbott kept BXY for trading crypto assets that were sold as securities. The agency accused them of breaking securities law by operating an unregistered exchange, broker, and clearing agency, although another SEC case declared the platform defunct last year. Gerber Grewal, the SEC's enforcement chief, said investors are at a risk when a crypto intermediary combines all of the functions under one roof, as is alleged with BXY. The SEC claims that the platform did not follow or recognize regulations designed to protect investors. The exchange announced on its website that it would stop operating due to the uncertain regulatory environment surrounding its business. BXY stated that it had cooperated with the SEC for over 2 years, offering information, data, and interviews to aid regulators in any way possible. We need look no further than Coinbase to know how much good cooperating with the SEC will do you. What the SEC isn't telling you is that BXY closed under an agreement. This was in federal court with Wendy and its affiliates. This agreement required them to return all assets to customers and to destroy any BXY tokens in their possession. The agency is pursuing BXY Digital and its founder with litigation. The SEC has advised customers of the exchange to withdraw their assets and to do so within the next 30 days. And speaking of exchanges, we have some news about Binance's current situation. For one thing, Radix Trading admits that it is the trading firm A in the CFTC's complaint against Binance. The CFTC mentioned 3 U.S. trading firms in the lawsuit. The firms traded on Binance even though American customers were not supposed to. Now, according to Radix co-founder Benjamin Blander, his company traded on Binance for years. They did this through offshore affiliates and a prime brokerage. Blander said that they got legal approval for all their crypto activities. He also said that they were cooperating with the CFTC before the lawsuit. And Blander doesn't think that Radix is under investigation. So the CFTC filed their lawsuit against Binance, and because Binance is the biggest crypto exchange by trading volume, Timothy Masad says that this is a big deal. Now, Masad is a former CFTC chairman. He now works at Harvard University, and he is also the director of the Digital Assets Policy Project. And he said that the complaint contains a lot of detail. Some of that is because the CFTC had information from people inside. And he said that the level of detail is really quite striking. The CFTC filed a lawsuit against Binance and Changpeng Zhao because the exchange allegedly offered unregistered derivatives products. They also allegedly helped U.S. customers bypass compliance controls. They did this through virtual private networks, or VPNs. Masad said that the complaint shows that Binance and Zhao deliberately and systematically cultivated U.S. business. They helped U.S. persons get around those restrictions, and they even tried to hide how much U.S. business they were doing. Now, Zhao responded to the complaint in a blog post. He said that the complaint doesn't list all the facts. He also said that the exchange doesn't agree with the characterization of many of the issues. Will the lawsuit make lawmakers regulate the crypto industry in the US? Doubtful. We'd have to have a strong functioning legislature for something like that to happen, and we don't have one currently. Masad led the CFTC during the Obama administration, and he said that there is no consensus on regulating the crypto industry in Congress. Some people are skeptical about crypto. They don't want to pass a law that gives it too much legitimacy. And then others believe in the innovative potential of crypto. They want more regulatory clarity in rules, but for innovation, not for punishment. The Binance lawsuit will take time to litigate. We're just going to have to watch and see what happens. Now, CFTC Chair Rostin Benham spoke at a congressional hearing on Tuesday, and we talked about this a little bit last night. Because Benham said that Ether is a commodity. And remember now, this is different from what the SEC thinks. The SEC thinks that everything is a security. And here's why that's important. The CFTC regulates commodities, And the CFTC is in a legal dispute with Binance. Now, the CFTC says that Binance was illegally trading several tokens, including Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, Tether, and BUSD. One of the lawmakers asked Benham if he thinks that Ether should be on the list of commodities during a budget hearing. Benham said that he believes Bitcoin and Ether are commodities, and they are listed on CFTC exchanges. The CFTC has a regulatory relationship with the derivatives market and the underlying market as well. Benham's belief is driving the case against Binance and other institutions trading Bitcoin and Ether. He suggests that trading at other platforms may face regulatory scrutiny eventually. And I think he's right. I think that's part of why Beaksy is getting out of the business, increasing regulatory pressures and uncertainty. On the other hand, SEC Chair Gary Gensler claims that all proof-of-stake tokens, including Ether, are probably securities. It's his stance that they should be registered and regulated by his agency. However, Gensler hasn't taken enforcement actions to court, at least not yet. Maybe this case against Coinbase will go the distance. Now, all that aside, crypto insiders used to think that Benham and the CFTC were friendlier to crypto than the SEC and its chairman, and now folks aren't so sure. The Binance case could have wider implications, because this case targets the largest crypto platform by trading volume globally. On Tuesday, lawmakers asked Benham if he still wants to allow space for crypto innovation in the US, as he has said before. Benham responded that it should be a concern. And he's right. Europe has a comprehensive regime that will be implemented in the next few years. Now look at MiCA, and then look at the mess that the US regulatory space is in. The US either needs to get it together or be left behind. Do Kwon, founder of Terraform Labs, was arrested at an airport in Montenegro, and things are just not looking up for him today. The US and South Korea have both requested his extradition. Justice Minister Marko Kovac explained this at a press conference on Wednesday. He said that Kwon's extradition will only occur after he has faced charges for forgery of identification documents. According to Kovac, the court proceedings in Montenegro are a priority. If Kwon is found guilty of falsifying identification documents, he must serve his sentence in Montenegro before he can be extradited. Kovac has not received an official extradition request from Singapore, at least not yet. Do Kwon and Han Cheng-jun were arrested in Montenegro. South Korea issued an international warrant for their arrest because of the collapse of the Terra USD stablecoin last year. Justice Minister Kovac said that he doesn't know how or why they came to Montenegro. Kwon is a South Korean citizen, and the US claims jurisdiction because of the fraud allegations made by the SEC. Kovac stated that the US and South Korea have asked for Kwon's laptops and other devices because they may hold cryptocurrency or other evidence. The co-founders of Three Arrows Capital, Kyle Davies and Su Zhu, must appear in court on May 22nd in the British Virgin Islands. That's the court that's handling the liquidation of 3AC. If they don't respond to the order, then they will be held in contempt of court. I'm kind of feeling like they don't care that much, though. Liquidators for Three Arrows Capital Hedge Fund have set a deadline of April 14th for Kyle Davies and Su Zhu. That's the latest that they have to submit relevant documents related to the firm's bankruptcy. Failure to meet this deadline will result in a shortened examination on April 27th, only lasting 30 minutes. That's instead of the 2 hours originally scheduled for May. Last June, the Three Arrows Capital Crypto Hedge Fund imploded for a couple of reasons, largely due to a depressed crypto market and a flawed long-only trading strategy. The firm's assets were estimated to be $1 billion, with liabilities of $3 billion. The collapse was a significant event in the crypto world, contributing to a larger trend of collapses from other crypto firms. Companies such as Voyager Digital, Celsius, and Genesis Asia Pacific, all of which had exposure to 3AC, and then subsequently filed for bankruptcy. The Canadian government wants federally regulated pension funds to tell the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, or OSFI, if they hold any crypto assets. This is part of Ottawa's plan to have more control over the volatile crypto market. This was announced in the government's 2023 budget plan. They also said that they would talk to provinces and territories, again about getting the country's largest pension plans to disclose any crypto asset or related activities. This would let Canadians know if their pension plan has been connected to crypto assets. The Canadian government is doing this after some famous bankruptcies showed just how risky the crypto industry can be. 2 crypto-friendly banks, Silvergate Bank and Signature Bank, both failed recently. Some of the country's pension funds have already lost money due to investing in crypto. One plan lost $150 million US on Celsius Network last year. The Ontario Teachers Pension Plan has almost $250 billion in assets under management. They had to write off their $95 million investment in FTX last year. The 2023 budget said that OSFI will work with federally regulated financial institutions to come up with guidelines for disclosing their crypto asset exposure. The budget said that protecting Canadians from crypto risks means all levels of government must help with consumer protection and risk management in the financial system. The NFT space is a good place for people to get started with Web3. This is especially true for artists and creators who want to improve their work using Web3 tools. But according to new data from eBit Labs and Live Art Marketplace, creators may have lost more royalties in the NFT space than previously thought. The data shows that the Bored Ape Yacht Club and the Mutant Ape Yacht Club lost around $20 million in royalties after the Blur Marketplace emerged in October of 2022. This means that previous estimates of $35 million in lost royalties might be too low. Many people have been talking about creator royalties in the NFT space. OpenSea initially stopped paying creator royalties, but after facing criticism, they promised to enforce them for all collections. In November of 2022, Bored Ape Yacht Club founders suggested a new model for creator royalties in NFTs. This model would not charge fees for transferring NFTs between wallets. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, subscribe, leave a rating or a review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.